I have a new film coming out called The Five Bloods.
It's about our brothers who fought in the Vietnam War. There have been Vietnam War films that have had African Americans in them, but this is where we're really dealing with the experience of the African American soldiers in Vietnam. African Americans were 10% of the United States population.
Can you remember the first experience when you first encountered racism?
It's a great question. All right. As a young person, I was in England, and I came home from elementary school one day, and I was reciting a little ditty that I'd heard. And the ditty was, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo." And my grandmother, and this was a white family, this was an adopted grandmother, she was appalled. And she said, "What are you saying?" And I said, "I'm just saying what I heard somebody at school saying, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger by the toe." And she explained to me what a nigger was. And she may not, but she made it clear that's not a word that you use. You say, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. That was possibly my first encounter with racism without even knowing it. And I also remember as a young person at around the same period, we as young kids, we would take each other's coat or some item of clothing, we would tie it around our neck, and we would pretend that we were Superman. And we would run, and the piece of clothing would fly in the wind, and that was our cape. And a kid who I thought was a friend of mine, he had my piece of clothing, and I had his piece of clothing, and we were doing the Superman thing. And his car pulled up, and he was petrified, and he came to me, and he yanked the piece of clothing of his that I had off of me and threw my piece of clothing at me and said, "I gotta go, or I can't do this." And at the time I was completely confused, but clearly his dad had said for him to get, yeah, right.
Let's move fast forward a little bit to today.
Yeah.
All right, as a European, I understand why you guys, or we all, protest against the death and the horrible murder of George Floyd. But what are you protesting for?
Great question. My son, all of us are protesting for the recognition of our humanity, and that our humanity has value. And we, people of color, have traditionally, for over 400 years, 401 years in actuality, been responded to as things, as objects that are not worthy of value. And in that being considered lacking in value, our humanity there was an attempt to strip us of our humanity. So what we are protesting for is a recognition of our humanity and our inclusion in the human race as beings worthy of everything else that every other human being is worthy of on this planet.
And finally, before I wrap, I have to congratulate you on your performance because it blew me.
God bless you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.